All right, this video is part 2, writing equations from tables and graphs. Today we're specifically looking at how to write equations from graphs. So we're going to start here on page 198. We went over it. And we noticed that in order to fill out this graph, we need to look at these points. And first we needed to decide how to label each column here. And we talked about how the x-axis is probably the better one to use in this left-hand side. Okay, and later on, you'll learn that in an ordered pair, the x goes here and the y goes here. So it might be just good to go ahead and get in the habit of that. And remember, the x-axis is our independent variable. So we're going to put our independent variable on this side. So in other words, after 1 minute, it is 10 miles away. In 3 minutes, it's 12. 5 minutes, it's 14, and so on. All right, so we fill in our table. And then we find a relationship between the time and the distance. And you got to be careful here. If you multiply, it works for this one because 1 times 10 would be 10, but then 3 times 10 would not be 12. So it's not a multiplicative relationship here. It's actually an additive relationship. The consistent thing is that adding 9 to get from our independent variable to our dependent. So if I add 9 to 1, I get 10. If I add 9 to 3, I get 12. If I add 9 to 5, I get 14. If I add 9 to 8, I get 17, and so on and so forth. All right, so my equation is, if I take t, which is my time, and I add 9 to it, I get my distance. All right? Now, to find the distance from the station after 20 minutes, I would put 20 in for my time, or my t, add it to 9, and I'd get 29. So my answer would be 29 miles, and technically I should have miles written in there. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to fumble here with writing with a mouse, but there you go. My perfectionism is coming in. There we go. Got my miles. Now it says to connect all the points. Do all the points on this line make sense? Now, in the past, when they haven't all made sense, it's because you can have a fraction of that thing. Can you have a fraction of a minute? Absolutely. Can you have a fraction of a mile? Absolutely. So any point along here would make sense because we can have a fraction of both miles and minutes. All right. Then on the next page, had you guys work on this? This is a plane, and every so miles it climbs a certain amount of feet. And you can see that our distance is going to go on this side and our height on this side. So after 50 miles, it's 2,000 feet in the air, and so on. Okay, and what's the relationship here? Well, the relationship is we need to multiply by 40. It's not an additive relationship, it's a multiplicative relationship. We're multiplying 50 times 40 to get 2,000. 100 times 40 is 4,000, and so on. All right, so our equation, our distance, our independent variable, multiplied by 40 will give us our h, our dependent variable. Okay? And then when they give us 150 miles, we put that in for our d, and we multiply and we get 6,000 feet. Now, are all these points on this line, do they make sense? Yeah, because you can have a fraction of feet and you can have fractions of miles. All right, then on the next couple pages, had you guys write an equation here. Basically, this person makes $8.76 per hour. So I use T for time. You could put an H there for hours. And then E for earnings. Trying to get a little creative here. But E equals $8.76 times the number of hours, time. Okay? So you could go ahead and figure out 2 and 3. But basically, we're filling in this table. And you can see the numbers we got here. Okay, for these, you're just multiplying 5 times 8.76 and so on. Here, we're dividing 218.75 by our 8.76, and that's where these numbers came from. And then we plot them, and then we come up with this new way of answering this question. Do all these points make sense? Yes. So we could say it is a continuous graph. All right. Here's your assignment. It is page 202. Read the question carefully and answer questions A, B, and C on this page. And don't forget to fill out the table as well. All right. Thanks for watching.